Top stories in our tonight's newscast. Renovation works continue at the Minor Seminary in Buea to rehabilitate the dormitories. The project, spearheaded by ex-students of Bishop Rogan College, aims at giving the learners a more conducive environment for academic and spiritual development. Also, today is commemorated worldwide as the International Day to End Child Labor. In this edition, we prompt deeper to understand the context and situation of this phenomenon as the global society wages a war against it. Plus, the CNDD-FDD, Burundi's ruling political party, sweeps all 100 seats at legislative elections in the country, sparking outrage from opposition parties who denounce the results, calling it fraudulent. These are our top stories, the details and more in the minutes right ahead. Stay connected. Us on Thursday's edition of Divine Mercy Prime. I am Samailin for presentation this day. We flag off in our local church and in the minor seminary here in Buea. To ensure a trend of continuity, the Bishop Rogan Ex-Students Association USA chapter rounding up with the renovation works of Charles Luanga Dormitory, one of the dormitories harboring the students of Biro Call. They have a goal as they carry out this task to complete renovation works before the start of the new academic year 2025-2026. Bernard Songne visited the dormitories and brought back this report.
As follow-up and a source of continuity for the project handed to the minor seminary during its Diamond Jubilee celebration by the Bishop Rogan Ex-Student Association, the same association, precisely the USA chapter, have yet again championed the renovation of another dormitory in view of the upcoming academic year 2025-2026. Amongst the renovation works earmarked and done by the association in the dormitory is the tiling of hostel floors, the refurbishing of the bathing cells, and as well a comfortable and durable toilets for the students, shutters and beds that are on the way.
The earmarked to work at the toilet, the bathing cells, the tiling of the floor, the shutters, and beds into the dormitory. When you look at the present state of the dormitory, you discover that they have gone far away with the project. We want to use this opportunity to sincerely thank them for the wonderful work they are doing, and we know they will continue to do.
Beholding the beauty and new form which the renovation works have done, it tells already of how much gratitude the ex-students have for their alma mater and as well what they receive during their own periods of formation.
And I think if they are doing this, it is in a way to recognize what they received from this house of formation, and they are applying back whatever they receive so that it will continue to bring a positive impact to the life of the students while in school.
With the aim of such a project to enhance the living condition of the students who now reside in the seminary, it leaves a great impact on them now and what the future holds for them.
Carrying out a project like this for the good of the community is in a way educating the young ones to understand that it is good to show appreciation to their alma mater. It is good to care for the gifts that you receive so that people will be motivated to continue with the good work they are doing.
Considering that about 75% of the work has been done, attention in the days ahead will now be given to the shutters, the ceiling and the hostel beds before the start of the new school year.
Cameroonians, like the global community, this June 12, 2025 is observing the World Day Against Child Labor. This year's theme, progress is clear, but there is more to do. Let's speed up efforts. Despite national and international efforts to emulate the practice, many children across the country are still engaged in hazardous labor that robs them of education, safety, and dignified childhood. Stakeholders are calling for stronger enforcement of child protection laws and community sensitization to break the circle of abuse. Magdalene Wundo reports.
As Cameroon celebrates the month of the child this June, a familiar yet troubling sight continues to unfold across towns. Children hawking on the streets selling everything and engaged in hazardous labor. These midday hawkers, no older than 8, raise pressing questions about the boundary between family contribution and child exploitation. According to the Regional Chief of Service for Child Protection at the Delegation of Social Affairs, programs have been implemented to address child labor.
Cameroon is first of all a state of law, and the state of Cameroon has ratified so many treaties, conventions, protecting humans, protecting children in one way or another. So we carry out support services through the assistance that we offer to families, vulnerable families. The Ministry of Social Affairs make provision what we call punctual assistance. This punctual assistance, after inquiries, we shortlist some families who put together their files, and when we study them, they become eligible to benefit from some financial assistance.
Ministry of Social Affairs records 60% of child hawkers in Cameroon miss out on regular schooling. The risk of exploitation and psychological harm is dominant. For many families, especially in urban areas grappling with poverty and inflation, children's participation in laboring is not seen as an abuse, but as a necessary contribution to household income. Yet, child rights advocates warn that this normalized practice may be robbing a generation of its future.
Child labor adversely affects children's rights. It is a human right. It is a human right, and every adult is called upon to ensure that children are protected wherever and whenever the need arises, wherever we find children.
Children helping their families is one thing, but when a child spends an entire day on the street exposed to danger with little time for school or rest, that crosses the line into child labor.
They are exposed to some of those activities that are life-threatening. You see that it even reduces the population of children, and they are the leaders of tomorrow. If we cannot protect them from this kind of activities that will like hamper their full development, their full growth, to enable them express their potentials as children.
Commemorated every year on June 12 since 2002, as this year's theme says, progress is clear but there is more to do. Let's speed up efforts. The government and civil societies are calling for clearer legislation and sustainable support systems for children's rights.
Moving on, activities to commemorate the 30th anniversary of the Association of Student Journalists of the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, University of Buea, kicked off today, Thursday, June 12, 2025, with a sports walk and a gala football match between current students and the alumni of the department. The association, which celebrates its 30th anniversary this year, was created in 1995. Hilarion Tokov has more.
The students gathered in their numbers this June 12, 2025 to kick off the celebration of the 30th anniversary of the Association of Student Journalists of the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Buea. The streets of Moliko serve as the backdrop for this event as the students proudly chanted lyrics in honor of their association. The work ended at the university campus. Jukan Princely is the vice president of the Association of Student Journalists. He emphasized the significance of this event.
The purpose for this sports walk basically was to raise an awareness of the existence of the Department of Journalism, but more importantly, the Association of Student Journalists, University of Buea, which is one of the pioneer government, student-led governments in the University of Buea, created as far back as 1995. We did this sports walk to draw people's attention to the fact that we are celebrating the 30th year of the association's existence, and that at this very pivotal moment, it is important for us to come together and see how we take the association to the next level.
The work aimed at raising awareness for the association was followed by a gala football match between the present student journalists and alumni from the department, Dr. Stephen Dode, a lecturer in the department, and the personal envoy of Dr. Mrs. Ndobeltha, referred to as the mother of JMC, officiated the kick-off. Dr. Ndode conveyed a message of solidarity and love among the students and the alumni, encouraging them to contribute generously to the department as to enhance training resources.
We are so pleased to have our students, the Student Association of the department, celebrate 30 years. It's a great milestone for us and a wonderful moment for us to reflect on where we've come from, how far we've gone, and where we are heading to. The special message is that of solidarity, that of unity, that of love, that of coming together to see how we as past and current students can be able to help the department. So we are very happy, we are very proud.
On the pitch, the students were joined by a member of the first graduating batch from the 1990s. For the veteran journalist, participating in the event was a privilege, and she urged the present students to work hard.
We are having the 30th anniversary, which is good. At least you're keeping JMC going on, and then people still know that we are existing. And of course, you cannot really grind a journalist because we have the mouth, we have the microphone, we have the AIs, we have everything. The young race, just follow the line. Make sure you study so that you are not embarrassed when you want to do anything. Like you are in occasion, you are in an interview, you want to talk to people. You always have to do research. To have your background information before you go do anything and answer questions.
The grand ceremony to mark the association's 30th anniversary is scheduled for Friday, June 13, 2025 at Open Commons of the University of Buea.
Hilarion took off reporting there. Now, moving on, the family of Pa Thomas Lanjo have documented his history as well as activities, donated the book to the library of the Pan-African Institute for West Africa, PADWA. The donation is a way for the family to keep the legacy of their father alive. Details with Aloysius Leke.
The family of Pa Vincent Thomas Lanjo, a Cameroonian visionary, a politician, a lover of knowledge, and one-time acting prime minister under SML Ndeli, in the drive to give back to the communities he impacted while alive, have documented his history, activities, and contributions to the history of West Cameroon in a book and donated to the Pan-African Institute for Development, PADWA, so that the younger generation can learn from his activities as well as copy from his good practices. The 4-chapter book is thanks to the writings of Vincent Lanjo, who documented every aspect of his life, something that the younger generation are encouraged to do. The donation gave the family and the staff of PADWA the opportunity to relive Pa's legacy by discussing about his great strides as concerned politics, social life, and family. The third daughter of Pa Vincent Thomas Lanjo says it is a privilege for the family to share the history and legacy of their father.
Pa did a lot for us as children, and this is our way of saying thank you, Daddy. because we also knew that he was doing a lot of writing in the background. Every evening he would shut his door and we knew he was writing. So what other way do we have to say thank you to somebody who was so dedicated not only to family life but to education and to his country? Believed in networking, the tradition and the council and the mission, they needed to be together for the good of the country, for the good of the people. And that is what really propelled him to the level of joining politics and giving back to the people, giving back to the country what he had learned. So it's a pleasure. He taught here and we thought that we should bring it back to you people here in the university.
Professor Julius Victor Ngor, who worked closely with the visionary, gives us a synopsis of his contribution to the history of the nation.
He was a first-class politician, and he was among the 13 Southern Cameroon's elected representatives to represent the territory during the period of the British administration of Southern Cameroon as an integral part of Nigeria. And he was one of those who eventually set the pace for party politics in Southern Cameroon. He, with Dr. E.M.L. Ndeli, John Gufoncha, S.T. Muna and the others, founded the KNC, a living archive, and this was well demonstrated during the Bakassi crisis. He was one of the resource persons that the Cameroon team from time to time consulted. He had all the important documents on the Bakassi question.
The director of PEDWA, Dr. Gladys, says the institute is privileged to share in the legacy of Thomas Lianjo with all his achievements.
We had a visit from the family of late Barvin St. Thomas Lianjo, who happens to be a one-time vice president of the Southern Cameroon and a strong political activist. This delegation was headed by his third daughter. What a masterpiece that carried the history of the visionary leader, which is supposed to inform the population about the life and the struggles of Southern Cameroon and the contributions that PA has done to the political atmosphere of Cameroon. We are very elated. This document is going to be put in the library, open to the entire population of Buea, Cameroon and West Africa.
The clarion call at the close of this event is that young people and present politicians and historians should strive to live their lives in a way that they will be celebrated when they are gone and should document their achievements for the future generation.
Onto something else, the EUMEMA USA Incorporated, a group made up of women who originate from Manu or married to a man from Manu residing in the USA, have donated a newly constructed maternity and children's ward to the Mamfe Hospital. The event took place recently and also saw the hospital benefiting from the donation of hospital equipment. Aloysius Leke once again.
On Friday, 6th of June 2025, the population of Mamfe Municipality witnessed the inauguration of the newly constructed maternity ward at the Urban Integrated Health Center Mamfe. This mind-blowing and much-needed project was spearheaded by the EUMEMA USA Incorporation. The inauguration ceremony began at the Mamfe Town Hall, bringing together administrative and traditional rulers as well as EUMEMA groups from Cameroon and the United States. This occasion, which was characterized by eye-catching cultural displays from Eyumema Manfe Monikim dance group, amongst others, was punctuated by attention-grabbing speeches. Representing the mayor of Manfe Council, the first deputy mayor, Agbo Benson Bisong, in his welcome address, applauded the efforts of Eyumema USA for their humanitarian efforts in the division and called on beneficiaries to use the items. National President of Eyumema USA, Ma Bridget Besem Voma, highlighted the projects of Eyumema USA in Manyu Division, ranging from medical supply initiatives, water for life projects, health care restoration, amongst others.
We are here in Manfe to represent Eyumema. Eyumema is Manyu women by birth or marriage. So if you are born from Manyu or you're married to a man from Manyu, then you are an Eyumema woman. So we're here because we have tried to make a difference in the community. And how have we tried to do that? We have done that by trying to complete certain projects to help change the lives of our mothers, our brothers, our sisters that are here. We started by providing medical equipment to the preventive when the Manfe Hospital burned down. We did provide equipment worth 17 million CFA francs. But we realized that that was not it. There was more to be done. So we did contact all the mayors in the subdivisions. And from the subdivisions, we realized that water was very important. There was an issue with water. So in Manfe Central, we donated 3 boreholes, one in Lala, one in Small Manfe, and one in Banya. Then we didn't stop there. We decided to go to Upper Bayang. Upper Bayang, they needed water in Ayokoba, but they needed solar panels to help electrify their healthcare centers in Kimbong and Inukun. Then we moved to Upper Bayang. Upper Bayang, what they did, they needed boreholes in Bacho Akagbe and then in Obang 3 Corner. Then we went to Akwaya Subdivision. In Akwaya Subdivision, they needed a borehole and needed solar panels for their healthcare center. So we provided solar panels for the Akwaya Healthcare Center and the Keshim Healthcare Center. But in Avatu, we did provide boreholes. So those were the things we did first when we talked to the mayor in reference to what they need. But we also realized that without the Manfe Hospital, there is a need for an expansion at the preventive healthcare center. And that's the main reason why we're here. We have extended the building by including a building that has 16 beds in maternity, 16 beds in children's ward. You have 2 private wards. You have labor and delivery. Then you have 12 bathrooms. All this just to make it possible that our mothers, our sisters, our friends who come there, they should be able to have their health taken care of.
From the town hall, the population moved to the Manfe Hospital to witness the newly constructed maternity. The paramount chief of Manfe's Royal Highness Chief Dr. Oben salutes the efforts of the ladies.
I am highly impressed with this wonderful donation of medical equipment. A medical facility is building like this to house both the maternity and children's wards. It's a wonderful gift to our people, and I'm very impressed. I'm happy. I want to encourage the women to continue in this light. What they have done, nobody has done it before apart from the government.
It should be recalled that the Manfe Hospital was attacked and burnt down by gunmen, and with the construction of the maternity section, mother and child mortality will greatly reduce.
Now, out of Cameroon, about 138 million children were involved in child labor activities in 2024, according to the International Labour Organization, ILO. The latest data show a total reduction of over 29 million children since 2020, reversing an alarming spike between 2016 and 2020. Plus, the CNDD FDD, Burundi's ruling political party, sweeps all 100 seats at legislative elections in the country, sparking outrage from opposition parties who denounced the results, calling the polls fraudulent. Details of these international stories and others have been compiled in the next report. Take a listen.
Burundi's ruling party, the CNDD-FDD, has won all 100 seats contested in the country's legislative elections, according to results released by the National Electoral Commission on Wednesday. The sweeping victory has sparked outrage from opposition parties who have denounced the polls as fraudulent and undemocratic. The CNDD-FDD secured 96.51% of the vote, while all other parties failed to meet the 2% threshold required for parliamentary representation. Notably, the main opposition party, the National Congress for Liberty (CNL), was largely sidelined ahead of the vote. Its leaders had been removed and many of its members reported harassment and detention during the campaign period. Several civil society organizations also raised red flags, pointing to a climate of fear and the arrest of opposition polling agents on voting day. Despite concerns from observers, officials described the election atmosphere as peaceful and orderly. But critics argue that calm does not equal fairness. Nearly 133 million children were engaged in child labor in 2024, including around 54 million in hazardous work likely to jeopardize their health, safety, or development, according to new estimates released today by the International Labour Organization, the ILO, and the United Nations National Children's Emergency Fund on Wednesday. The latest data show a total reduction of over 20 million children since 2020, reversing an alarming spike between 2016 and 2020. Despite this positive trend, the world has missed its target of eliminating child labor by 2025. The report titled Child Labor, Global Estimates 2024, Trends and the Road Forward, released one day ahead of the World Day Against Child Labor and on International Day of Play, underscores a stark reality that while gains have been made, millions of children are still being denied their right to learn, play, and simply be children. The United Nations Nuclear Watchdogs Board of Governors on Thursday formally found that Iran isn't complying with its nuclear obligations for the first time in 20 years, a move that could lead to further tensions and set in motion an effort to restore United Nations sanctions on Tehran later this year. Iran reacted immediately, saying it will establish a new enrichment facility in a secure location and that other measures are also being planned. The Islamic Republic of Iran has no choice but to respond to this political resolution. The Iranian Foreign Ministry and the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran said in a joint statement. And elsewhere, elected officials and representatives of FIFA started the one-year countdown to the 2026 FIFA World Cup on Wednesday in a ceremony in Miami. The city is scheduled to host 7 tournament games, which will take place in stadiums across North America. Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniela Levine Cava said that the city is expected to welcome 1 million new visitors for the World Cup with over $1 billion in economic impact. Mexico City also kicked off the one-year countdown to the 2026 World Cup on Wednesday by lighting up the city's iconic buildings in green, the color assigned to the city by FIFA. The city is scheduled to host the tournament's opening game, which will take place in stadiums across North America. The World Cup's 104 matches will be staged in 16 locations across Mexico, the US, and Canada.
It is on that foreign note that we put a cap on this edition of Divine Mercy Prime. A reminder of our top stories before we take leave of you. Renovation works continue at the minor seminary in Boya to rehabilitate the dormitories. The project, spearheaded by ex-students of Bishop Rogan College, aims at giving the learners a more conducive environment for academic and spiritual development. Also, we heard in this newscast that today is commemorated worldwide as the International Day to End Child Labor. In this edition, we prompt deeper to understand the context and situation of this phenomenon as the global society wages a war against it. And the CNDD-FDD, Burundi's ruling political party, sweeps all 100 seats at legislative elections in the country, sparking outrage from opposition parties who denounce the results, calling it fraudulent. Many thanks for your keen attention, ladies and gentlemen. We've come to the end of this edition of the news. I have been Samailin for presentation. We'll bring to you the last edition tomorrow at exactly 7 p.m. while Magdalene Wundo reports here at 7:30 a.m. for the morning news. Do keep it locked down on DMR TV. Up next is Mountain Acres. Good night.